Hey everyone. Yeah, so some people have commented when they're up close and personal watching me pay for something at a conference or whatever. They say, that's an odd card. What is that, like a dot on that? What is that mark? And they look a little closer and they're like, that that's a hole. Why does your credit card have a hole in it? Did you drop something on it? Is this like a lock picking thing? Is this for decoding something? Are you making a pinhole camera? No, none of those things are true. And in fact, the hole does not go all the way through. It's not on the front of the card. And you can only see it because I haven't gotten around to giving it a small dot of dark green nail polish. No, the hole exists on my credit card for what you may think is a silly reason. My family sure does. But to me, it has been an amazing convenience. And I'm telling you about it now in case this bothers you. I keep my credit card, at least one of them. I don't have too many, right? But I keep a credit card, the one that I'm always traveling with, in my phone case. It is amazingly convenient for me. I can literally run out of a house, a hotel room, a burning aircraft on the tarmac if there's a problem with a jet engine with just my phone, and I'll effectively be fine, right? Like, I have my phone, which can do pretty much everything in my life. I have some tools that are inside of my phone case, which I've talked about in covert entry classes. I have my credit card that I can pay for stuff with, and I have my passport card, which is a form of ID that's accepted everywhere, including, on planes. And that's all you really need. I mean, I can solve problems in my life with all of that stuff. The rest of my possessions could be washed away in a flood. But keeping a credit card, a modern credit card, in a phone case presents a problem. Some of you already know where this is going, right? Most credit cards that banks will issue you nowadays are tap to pay enabled. Tap to pay, if you're not familiar with, it really started with sort of NFC and phone-based payments, which is a whole thing like Apple Pay. The reason we have chip cards in this country at the time we did, and the reason all those point-of-sale readers forever and ever were showing you like, hey, chip enabled, coming soon, please swipe, not there yet, or please use chip now. That was all forced on the payment card industry, the EMVCo, Eurocard, MasterCard, Visa. They got kicked and dragged, screaming, into like the modern world, because Europe has had chip and PIN forever. It was only when Apple Pay started to come around and customers and merchants were like, oh, there's a more secure way to do this shit and not have to have all these chargebacks and fraudulent, charge problems. Yeah, let's get that Apple Pay going on. And then, of course, Android Pay and Samsung Pay were quickly rolled out. That is something that the card industry fought against. It was very expensive to implement, and point-of-sale terminals would all have to be rolled out and upgraded and everything. So we finally have that now, but people were so gaga over this whole tap-to-pay that EMVCo and all the banks that make these cards, they went even further. They said, we're not just going to give you the chip, because, dip your chip and type your PIN, or we don't have chip and PIN in America. We mostly have chip and signature. But there's also just tap-to-pay with your card. They're like, hey, we're putting this chip in a card, and the industry who makes cards has gotten really good at putting embedded antennas in cards. And they're like, well, we've been doing this forever with PIV cards and so forth. We can just make this a tap card as well as a dip card, like do all the things. And it's very convenient. I liked it. I liked the fact that if I was out somewhere and my cell phone, because I use tap to pay a lot on my phone, it's very secure if you're curious. If my phone, like, the battery was dead, or if I was somewhere that didn't have network connectivity or something, well, I could always use my piece of plastic. I could just tap to pay with that. Until I started putting that plastic in my phone case, at which point you have to make a choice. Do you want NFC enabled on your phone? Because if you do, and you're like me, and you have all these fancy NFC wireless tools on your phone, it will constantly be detecting your card, like your credit card, and it's alerting all the time, like, got card, red card, what do you want to do with this card? And likewise, if I ever want to use my phone to pay at a reader, because I have a bunch of different payment accounts, right? I have business charges and personal, and we have a household account for, when we're at Costco. I can't do that easily at a reader, because the reader tries to read my phone and also reads this card, and it would collide. So what do? You might know, if you have a chip-enabled something, and you don't want it to be chip-enabled anymore, there are ways to handle this. I mean, everyone got a microwave, right? You throw it in a microwave. That'll nuke any tap-to-pay kind of, any kind of boopy card you have, any RFID card. If you want it to be dead, microwave's going to handle that fast. But it will also nuke the actual IC chip on the card. Same thing goes for those little black boxes and NFC kill. If you put a card on it, you hit it'll blast EM noise into the antenna. It'll dump all that current right into the chip, and it'll fry the chip. that will also kill the smart chip, right? That'll kill the processing power of the credit card. So you can't do anything anymore other than old-timey magstripe. So I said to myself, how am I going to be able to have a credit card? And I asked my bank, can I just have a card without tap to pay, please? And they were like, what are you, freaking weirdo old-ass boomer? What are you afraid of technology? So that was not going to happen. I was like, all right, I've got to be able to kill the tap to pay, but not kill, like dip to pay, like we use a chip card. And the smartest way to do that is to just zap the antenna, right? So high power flashlight, take your own cards out. If you've ever had this problem, take your credit card, look at it through, look through it with a real high powered flashlight. Look for the antenna. Look for the chip inside of the card. It's probably the silicon for all this is inside of the actual pads on the contact chip. So look for where the antenna coil goes in to the contact chip. Find those traces inside the plastic. If you can line it up, and that's what we did, we took a flashlight, we took some Sharpie marker, we sketched out where the wires were, and then we were at the office. We just used one of our key cutting machines. We used, it's a Tiger Shark by HPC. It's a really dope-ass key machine that can do all kind of crazy cuts and side cuts and milling and, just a lot of things. If you don't know the Tiger Shark, it's banging. If you want one, we sell them if you're tied to us. But that's not what this is about. We lined it up, and you can see right here, we just kind of cut down, dip down. And to test if we had actually killed the antenna, we had one of our door simulators. We just kept putting the card on the door simulator, and it would read. It'll read the CSN. It'll read the card serial number. And it'll like, oop, got to read. Nope, didn't kill the antenna yet. Drill a little further, until the door simulator was like, I don't see anything. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I put the card back in my phone case. And for the first time in forever, blissful silence. So yeah, that's why my credit card has a hole in it. I don't think this violates any agreements I have with my bank, right? I'm not committing any kind of fraud. I'm just reducing the functionality of my card. If someone from my bank is watching and doesn't like this, I'm sure they'll tell me in the comments. Look for that below. But that's the story. A few of you have asked when we've been out at bars, and I just kind of have glossed over it because it's a silly explanation. But you get the explanation now. And if for like the few of you out there who have this same problem, now you got a solution. Just be real careful with how you're drilling and where you're piercing your plastic, and maybe this works for you. All right? Silly story this week, but it's something I wanted to share for a while. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll do a fun giveaway. This is such a dumb video. We'll make the giveaway better. But in the meantime, stay safe out there. Okay, so how many of you were watching in a previous video when I gave away a tablet, right? This was a door prize at, it's an Android tablet. Like, I don't need another tablet. This was a door prize at the Aloha locksmithing trade show. And like, cool, came with a case, came with everything. I haven't even turned it on. I'm just giving it away because I don't need, more tech in my life. I want less tech in my life. Speaking of which, I got another piece of tech, and it's a big one. I've been sitting on this for a while, and I'm like, is anyone going to freaking want this? Maybe you do. I'm giving away a laptop. It's not a new laptop. It's old, but it's hyper ruggedized. Ooh, there's the password. All right, cool. I had to write that down because I'd wiped this a while ago. This was running Windows 7 or something, and it was just a little too sluggish to upgrade to Windows 10. But this, I mean, again, you can beat this up. This is one of Dell's rugged little mini books, and if you want a like end of the world laptop or a pen testing laptop or something that you can just throw Kali on and just kick it around in the bottom of your bag and not care about, there you go. So again, if you're not already on the mailing list, which is not used for anything other than prize giving away, and if I ever get like nuked for, I don't know, talking about how to mod your credit cards on YouTube, like I'll announce and say, hey, I'm joining Utreon or Floatplane or some other service. But fortunately, I'm still here for now. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and sign up, I use that to do a drawing every time I release a video whenever I can. And this is the prize this week. It is a Dell, what is this model? It's a Dell Latitude 2110, a 2110. Check the specs online. And this was my daily laptop for a long time going to cons, man. This laptop has been in some DEF CON hot tubs, I think. But yeah, you want it? Go ahead and win it. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon.